my name's Angela and this is Devon Thread Tales. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I'm going to be sharing with you all of the things that I've been making in May. So I've been struggling a little bit today in trying to find somewhere to film. I feel like I'm always struggling against light. Normally it's always too dark and I can't find somewhere that's really nice to film, that's bright enough, but now it's really sunny and I've been trying to find somewhere that's not quite as bright. So I'm really sorry, I've got this sort of big thing of light sort of glaring behind me, so sorry about that, but hopefully you'll be able to see everything clearly. It is really warm today, which is fabulous because it feels like it's been cold forever, so it's so nice that the sun has come out, but because it's so warm, I hope it's okay. Today I'm not going to be changing in and out of all of the clothes that I'm going to share with you because it's just too warm and I know I'll get really hot. So I'm going to share them with you, hold them up, and I'm also going to put videos and pictures and things up on the screen, so I hope that's okay. Today I've got on something that I didn't make this month. I made it back, or possibly a year ago, if not 18 months ago, and it's a simplicity. I think the number's 8601. It's a really lovely blouse and it's got a tie front and these lovely tie sleeves. It's just got a little opening on the back and it's just a really sweet blouse. I really like it. I really like the idea of wearing things that aren't just t-shirts all the time when I'm at home, and I don't have enough of this kind of thing in my wardrobe, so I'd quite like to make some more like this. It's in a really lovely crepe fabric that I bought from Minerva, and it's cream with a navy blue spot. Hopefully you can see that. It's got a seam down the middle, so it creates this tie front at the front, and I think the pattern comes with lots of different options as well, so you can sew different variations of it, different sleeve options and different front options and things, so it's really nice. And the bonus about this fabric is you don't have to iron it, which is just a win-win in my book. So the first thing that I sewed up this month was 10 face masks. Now, I know it's really boring and I know it's not particularly interesting, but I just thought I'd share these with you because I've shared with you face masks that I've made before, and I've shared a 3D style face mask, which I really like, and it's really comfortable. It's one of our favourite style of masks that we have, and my husband really likes those because they fit his face, particularly with wearing glasses and things, and when he's in an office and seeing people, that's really great. But my girls really prefer this style, and I'll just show you what it looks like. So it looks like this. So it's moulded, it has a seam down the front and a seam to create the chin. It covers your face really nicely, and yeah, I've just made up 10 of these because the girls have been having to still wear masks obviously at school and things, although I think that's stopped, but they just felt like the masks that we had were getting a bit old and tatty and grubby. Obviously they wear them in school, or they wear them when they go out and they come home, they go straight in the washer, clean one's then taken, and they're just in and out all the time, and they were getting a bit tatty. So I have made loads of them. I've made, like this one, it's like really nice. Yeah, just really nice bright colours, and as boring as making a mask is, it was quite nice because I just got to choose lots of really lovely fabric and mix and match them all. So I'll show you the next thing that I've made. So the next thing that I made was a dress for my daughter Ellen, and I had said in my plans video that I was going to make a different dress. I think it was a new look dress that I was going to make, and I had made the Shelby romper for my other daughter last month, and after I'd shared my plans video and that's what I was going to do, she changed her mind about what dress she wanted, and I'd rather have made her the dress that she wanted, even though I'd sort of planned to make the other one. So I'm sorry I haven't made the dress that I originally said I was going to make out of this fabric, but I've made the True Bias Shelby romper, which is this romper here. Now this pattern is fabulous. It comes as a dress, it comes as a romper, it comes as a short style, it comes as a long style. It comes with the original pattern with 2 different sleeve versions, but there is also a free puff sleeve that True Bias has shared as well, that you can use as well. Now, I had a lot of problems with this dress, and it is not anything to do with the pattern at all, because I've made this dress twice before, once for myself and once for my other daughter, and it is gorgeous, or not dress, sorry, romper. I've made both romper styles. I'd like to make the dress. So it is nothing to do with the pattern, because the two previous versions I've made I absolutely love, and I just think they're gorgeous, and I can't wait to make myself another version, if I'm honest with you, as well as the dress. So it is, everything that's gone wrong with this is completely and utterly my fault. And I've written a post all about this on Instagram, and if you'd like to follow me over there, I'll put the details of my Instagram on the screen and also in the description below, so you can go and have a look over there. But I started off by, I think, being almost a little bit cocky about, well, I've made this twice before, so I can just make this. And maybe it was a bit blasé and I just wasn't reading the instructions properly, or I wasn't concentrating, or maybe it was too late at night. I don't know quite what I did. But the first thing I did is there's a seam down the back, and I joined the two outer edges of the back together rather than the centre seam together. Why I did that, I have no idea, but that was the first thing I did. I sewed it up and overlocked it, so I'd taken some of the seam allowance off once I had done it. So I had to unpick all of that and re-sew it, which was a bit of a nightmare. Anyway, I then, once I had done that, I made the rest of it up, no problems whatsoever, and it seemed to be fitting her brilliantly. And when I had finished it, I realised I had stretched the neckline out. How I've done that, I don't know. The only thing that I can say is the fabric that I've used previously has not been a stretch fabric. This isn't really a stretch fabric. It's a crepe, and it has a bit of stretch to it, but I don't think it's meant to particularly. It's really beautiful fabric. Again, I don't think it's the fault of the fabric. I just think I wasn't concentrating properly. Maybe I've sewn it too tightly, or what I've done, I don't know. But I stretched out the whole of the neckline, and it just looked awful, and it was really sort of gaping out. So what I did, I'd made the entire dress up, but I unpicked sort of all around the sleeve section, all around here, and there's lots of seams because this has princess seams of going down the bust line and down the back. And I unpicked it all, and I kind of oiked the front up and sort of re-sewed it together, and that is a technical term, I will have you know. I oiked it all up, sewed it all together, and it hasn't completely eradicated that sort of stretched look around the neckline, but it's definitely improved it. I do think that the I've possibly sewn the sleeves wrong, because I feel like they're slightly tighter on my daughter than the other version, and she's tried on the other version, and I made these in exactly the same size. So quite what I've done, I have no idea. Everything seems to have gone wrong with this garment. Once I'd finished that, I then did the buttonholes, and I did cover buttons, which I have to say I am really pleased with the cover buttons. They've come up really, really nicely. But I sewed them all in the wrong place. I have no idea why. And once I had made the buttonholes, I knew that it was going to ruin the fabric if I unpicked them, but I just hadn't lined them up properly. And it just, I was like, really? Really? Could there be anything else wrong with this dress? So, as determined as I was to have it finished, because it was this completed, this completed romper, and I thought, I do not want this romper going to waste. What I did is I actually added a popper. Now, I'm going to try and show this to you as best I can, but the popper is here, and obviously I didn't want just a random popper of any old colour. I mean, I did do it in this pale blue colour, but I actually managed to cover the popper in the fabric. It was quite difficult and very, very fiddly, I have to say. So, it wasn't easy to do, but just with a little bit of perseverance and sort of a very fine tool, I just kind of slipped the fabric in underneath the popper and sort of got it pressed down, and that's just holding it together a bit better. Now, if I was in a shop and I saw this, there's absolutely no way I would buy it. But my daughter really, really loves it. She's worn it. She wanted it for her birthday. So she wore it on her birthday, and she really, really likes it. And as far as she's concerned, she can't see all of the imperfections. But when she's got it on, I'm like that, oh, please don't tell anybody I made that, because it looks awful. Anyway, I'll pop pictures and video up of her wearing it anyway. The pattern doesn't come with pockets. And I did pinch a pocket piece out of another pattern and I just added that in, and the side seam, so it's got side seam pockets, and hopefully you can see that there, it's got the short sort of style. But it's such a pretty fabric and it's such a pretty dress, and like I say, the things that have gone wrong with this is absolutely nothing to do with the pattern at all, because I've made it before absolutely fine. So just really, really frustrating. But overall, she's pleased with it. I'm not quite so much, but I will be making it again, and I'll make it definitely not in a stretchy sort of type of fabric. So hopefully it will go a bit better next time. Right, on with the next thing that I've made. On my plans video for May, I said that I was going to be doing the closet core pattern Sasha trouser as a sew along, and as you may have seen in my most recent plans video, I just didn't get a chance to do it, and I just wasn't feeling it, if I'm absolutely honest with you. And I wanted to do a trial run of the trousers anyway. I wanted to do that for fit and yeah, just to kind of practice the whole technique of making the trousers. So I wanted to do those first and then do the sew along for you. But I ran out of time, and like I say, I just wasn't the right time. But I did actually end up making my trial run. So I ended up making these out of some fabric that I had in my stash, so that was great because I've got it out of my stash now, and it is a suiting fabric which has got an element of stretch in it, and I got this from Haberdashery Fabrics and More. I bought it a very, very long time ago, and I just thought, if these all go wrong, it's totally fine because the fabric was really quite inexpensive and I've had it for such a long time, so it kind of didn't feel like it was too bad. But if they did go right, then they would be a really nice pair of trousers to wear for work. So they're not very exciting because they're just plain black, but I don't actually own a pair of plain black trousers at all. So this is the pattern. I'll put a picture of what the pattern cover looks like so you can see which pattern it is that I'm talking about. But yeah, you're not going to be able to see these at all, are you, on the screen? But I made these trousers. They have sash pockets in the back. So I'll try and come up close so you can see. So sash pockets in the back. They've got a slash pocket on the front. I've put belt loops on them. They've got a hook and bar to gather them up at the front and a zip. I've lined it with just some quilting cotton that I had in my stash. So I've done that on the front pockets, and on the sash pockets at the back, the same fabric there. There is an option to do sort of binding and stuff like that all the way around the waist and on all of the other things, which I'm going to do on my other pair that I'm going to do as my sew along. But for this one, I just wanted to get the fit right, so I just overlocked everything and didn't worry about binding anything. Now I'm really, really pleased with these, and they've actually come out a lot nicer than what I was expecting them to, and they fit really nicely, and I'm just really, really pleased. I didn't do really any adjustments. I made the straight size 10 on these, and I thought that I'd have to do quite a lot of adjusting, but they actually fit pretty well. Now the fabric that I've got to do my sew along with is slightly stretchier, so I don't know whether that will alter it. Well, it's bound to alter it ever so slightly, so I may have to do a bit of adjustment on those. But I'm so pleased that I did this as a trial run, because I made really quite a number of mistakes, and once I got it into my head that I wasn't going to be able to do my sew along for May, I stopped rushing and panicking, and I really took my time. So every time I did something and I realised I made a mistake, I unpicked it, I went back, I redid it, and I just really, really took my time. And there are definitely things on here, on this pair of trousers that I did that really went wrong, and I know now how I'm going to be able to tackle that when I do my next pair, my sew along. So for example, on the sash pockets on the back, I put the facings on completely upside down. So when these open slightly, you're meant to be able to see just the same fabric as that's on here. But because I put them upside down, I actually ended up, this is the fabric that you could see. So I unpicked all of that and I redid it just because I just wanted it to look right, and I wanted them to be as nice as possible, even though they were just a trial run. But I think I realised fairly early on that they were going to fit quite nicely. I had a couple of things that I did with the zip and attaching the front pockets that sort of made me trip up a little bit. So again, I just sort of unpicked them and took my time and went back. So I'm really hoping that all that practice and all that experience is going to go into the sew along that I do with you when I do my blue pair, the bright blue pair that I've got on my agenda for my sew along for this month. So yeah, so I hope that you're going to enjoy that sew along. And again, I apologise that I didn't manage to do it in May. It just wasn't the right time. So I'm going to show you the next thing that I've made. The next thing that I've made is something that I've been wanting to make for quite a long time. I really wanted to have a few more jumpers and things in my wardrobe, although clearly I'm not going to be wearing them at the moment because it's quite warm. And I bought this fabric quite some time ago from Sewasfaction. It's a French terry and it's just got this really lovely big bold bright stripe on it. I absolutely love it. I love the sort of clashing pink and red and the bright blue and the navy and white. I just think it's really bright and fresh, and it's something that will look really nice with jeans or, you know, smart trousers or something like that. And like I say, it's a French terry, so it's just got sort of like a knit kind of backing to it, which is really lovely and soft, and the fabric is soft. Now, I don't know if you remember, quite a long time ago I did a bit of a fabric haul and this was included in it, and I had washed it stupidly with another fabric. And the fabric had dyed this fabric, and I had patches of it, and lots of you came up with some really great ideas about how to get those stains out. And I did a few of those things, and the stains really lessened, and they you know, became far less obvious, but I did still have the stains on there and I couldn't sort of get the last few bits out. So when I was cutting this out, I had to be really sort of careful and manipulate where my pattern pieces were going to go, and I'm a bit of a stickler for wanting to get sort of pattern matching done, so I was like, oh, I hope I'm going to be able to get it out. But I did manage to do it, and I think there are a couple of places, so which is hardly anything, but like for instance on this bit of the sleeve, you might not be able to see it in the camera, but there's a very sort of pale shadow over it, but I just got it so it was as less as possible on the garment itself. Now, I decided not to use my cover stitch machine. I really haven't got any issues with my cover stitch machine. It's just, I just didn't fancy using it this time. And I decided to finish off the hems and the neckline and the cuffs with a different stitch. And I've used a stitch that was just on my machine, just a decorative stitch, and I've just finished it like this. So then I was sort of faced with, oh, what colour do I do all of the stitching? So I could have done this in white, I do know that, but I thought it would be quite nice to have it in the pale pink because it matched this nicely. I then did the sleeves in the navy blue against the pale blue, and I kept the neckline in the pink because it just sat really nicely, and I thought that would be way more obvious on the neck, so I wanted to keep that sort of in keeping with the colour that it was actually landing on. And I'm just going to show you, I can't remember where I got these labels from, but I will pop the name up on the screen once I have found it. Although I might have actually got them in a So Hayley Jane box, but I've put a label in this, and I really love it. It's the Love Yourself Revolution. I just thought that was such a cute little label. Now obviously I'll be putting pictures and things up of this on the screen, but I really like it. I've made this before. Did I say what pattern it was? I don't think I have I? It's the Jennifer Lauren handmade Gable top. Did I say? I can't remember. Sorry if I didn't. Anyway, I've made it in a size 10, and I've made it before, and I made it as part of the Guthrie Garney Sewing Society kit, and I made it in a white and navy striped top. Fabric, French terry, just like this. And when I made it, I thought, oh, I'm not sure if I'm going to wear that very much, but I found over the winter I actually wore it quite a lot. It's just really snuggly, it's really nice. It's not sort of, it doesn't come right up like this. I quite like a roll neck or a turtleneck or what have you, but sometimes you don't want something that's quite as full on as that, but I quite like the fact that it came sort of right up, and I think the neckline on it is really flattering. It's really, really nice, and I just love the colours in this. So I thought, right, that's what I'm going to make. So I'm really, really pleased with this. However, since I finished it, I haven't actually worn it at all. So this hasn't had an outing yet, but I'm still really pleased with it. So I'm going to show you, oh, no, I'm not going to show you the next thing. I'm actually going to hand over to Amy because she's made a few things this month and she'd like to share those with you as well. So I hope that you enjoy that. I'll see you in a bit.
Hi, so Mum's asked me to talk about what I've made this month. So the first thing I finished was this pattern that my sister got me for my birthday. I think it was my birthday, which is a king cole pattern. I'm pretty sure the pattern's just called 5616. She ordered it and it came, and it said it was for larger sizes, so we were a bit concerned that it wouldn't fit. But I looked at the sizes and it looked like roughly my size, so I made it. Here it is. You can see that. It's really cute. I like the cables. I like doing more textured stuff than just plain flat knitting. And yeah, it is slightly oversized, but I quite like that. It makes it a bit snuggly. The wool is Exmoor horn wool. It's undyed. It's a little bit scratchy, but I've only washed it once and already it feels quite a lot softer. So I think it's only going to get softer, which is good. And to be fair, I quite like the scratchiness. It makes me feel a bit homely and nice. I also got these buttons from our local haberdashery, Make. They're really cute, little wooden buttons with flowers on them. I got them before I finished it, which is a bit cheeky, but I looked at the picture and tried to gauge how big the buttons should be, so I thought they should be a bit bigger, so I got bigger buttons, and then the buttonholes are too small. So I did have to adjust that a bit, which doesn't sound too difficult, but I've never adjusted a pattern before, so that was a big thing for me. But yeah, I had some wool left over at the end, so I thought I would make a matching scrunchie. Where is it? Here it is. Matching scrunchie to go with it, because I don't like having leftover. And then the second thing I made was for my big sister. So she doesn't live here full time anymore because she's at university, but she wanted something that reminded her of her roots, I guess, Devon. So I thought I'd make her something for her birthday, which is next month, with Devon colours in it. So I made her a sweater vest. This. The pattern is A Taste of Stripes, I think it's called. It was really fun to make. I really enjoyed it. I usually quite like working with like natural fibres, but they're hard to wash and it's a lot of work, and she's a busy student, so instead I decided to get just acrylic yarn. This is just from the Women's Institute, from Hobbycraft, and I really enjoyed making it, but I had quite a lot left over wool. So I thought I'll make some scrunchies, but I'll still have quite a lot left. So I made one scrunchie, and I'm going to make two more in the other two colours, in the black and the green. Don't know if you can see the black very well. Yeah. But I still have quite a lot left over. So I've started making a pair of socks to go with it. This is just a free pattern I found on Ravelry. And yeah, made one sock. I've got one more to go. I'm about here on the second one. But yeah, hopefully I'll use up the rest. So I don't like having a stash as such, like I want to use the wool and get rid of it because I don't like having stuff around. So I had a ball of wool left over from something I did a while ago, and it was just around and it was annoying me. So I thought I could make a pair of socks from it. It's a blend of nylon and acrylic or something like that. It's 4-ply, and I wanted to make a pair of frilly socks, but I couldn't find any free patterns because I don't want to pay for a pattern. So I tried to make it up. I already had a pattern for socks from the toe up, which I quite enjoy doing because you do the magic cast on method, which is really fun. So I did that up until the ankle, and then I thought I'll just make up how to do a frill, which I attempted a few times. So here's the sock. I eventually did get the frill. So I did it up about 5 centimetres from where I finished shaping the heel, and I did about 5 rows of ribbing, and then I didn't cast off, and I just did 6 treble crochets into each stitch, and it made quite a nice frill. And I've only worn them once because I only finished them last weekend, but they're really cute and I really like them, and I had enough to make one scrunchie, and then that used up the whole ball, so I'm happy about that. So that's everything I made this month. So yeah.
I just absolutely love all of those things that Amy's made. Aren't they fab? I just really, really love them. One of the things that I said that I was going to do on my plans video is that I was going to attack one of my work in progresses once a month. And this is a garment that I have now completed, and I'm so pleased that I have. And I kind of don't really know why I procrastinated over it for such a long time and didn't finish it, because now that it's done, I'm so pleased with it. I think it was quite a complicated sew, and although the instructions were fabulous and really, really easy to follow, there were so many sort of sections to it and parts to it, and I think I got part way through and just kind of got a little bit, oh, I need a break from that now, and then just never got back to it, which is such a shame. But it's finished now. And I have made the Sew Over It Sorrento jacket, and oh my gosh, I'm just so pleased with it. I really am. I wore it out for the first time last night. I went out for a hot chocolate with a friend of mine, and I just had on a little denim skirt and a white vest, and I just chucked this over the top, and yeah, I'm just so pleased with it. I really am. It is made out of a fine needle cord, which has got this really gorgeous sort of grey pattern on it with these little white flowers, and it has these buttons on it, which I just bought from eBay, I think, or maybe Amazon. I'm not 100% sure, but I just put in, you know, jeans buttons, and this came up, and I just thought they were a bit more interesting than just an ordinary jeans button. I decided to do all of the seams with the binding on them. It isn't something that's included in the pattern, but I looked up some different tutorials on YouTube and read about some blog posts, and I just thought that would be a really nice finish to it. I bought this binding from Makeup 140. It's just a totally plain sort of teal colour, and this fabric is from Trago Mills in Newton Abbot, I think it was. Unfortunately, they don't have an online shop. I did do a couple of other things. I added a little sort of I don't know what you call that, but that's quite often in jackets and shirts and things, isn't it? But I just decided to add that because I thought that'd be quite nice just if I'm hanging it up somewhere. And then on one of the side seams, I put, if I can find it, I put a little label, but on the outside, so when I'm wearing it, it's just sort of on my side seam, and it says, "Yes, I made it." And I've got that that label has like this really nice tealy green in it, which kind of matches in with the teal green of the binding. So yeah, overall I'm really pleased with it. I think I made the size 10 in this, but I'll put all of the details of what sizes I made in the description below. I think it was a size 10, and I think it fits really nicely. Obviously this is incredibly lightweight, and it's not something that's going to keep me warm. I think it's, you know, just something that's quite nice to put on of a summer's evening, or, you know, when it's just starting to get a little bit cooler and you don't want to have anything thick and heavy, but it feels quite dressy. I did this in this fabric because I'd never made something as sort of involved as this before, and this fabric was incredibly cheap. It was something like £4 a metre or something like that, and now that I've made it, I feel really confident to make this in a more expensive, maybe a nice denim or a heavier weight cord or something like that. But I feel like there'll be more of these jackets to come from me because I'm just so pleased with how it's turned out. And I have to say, I think I would really like this in all sorts of different colours now, because I think it's something that's really nice just to sort of chuck on over the top of, you know, what you're wearing. So yeah, so that is a work in progress that is now off of my list and off of my table and out of my cupboard, and I'm just really, really chuffed with it. So I'm now going to go and grab the last thing that I've made this month, and I think this is probably my most favourite thing that I've made out of all of the garments. I'm not going to be able to show you this completely on the screen while I'm just holding it up, but I will obviously be putting pictures and videos and things up of this. I have been doing a little bit of a Zoom call with Karen from So Little Time, and if you haven't seen Karen before, please do go and check her out. She's absolutely lovely. She's probably one of the smiliest, lovely, bubbliest people that I know, and she's just really happy and she is an absolute joy to watch on YouTube, and I'll put a link into her YouTube channel below. We had been just having Zoom chats where we were just sewing our own thing and having a chat and a cup of tea, and it was just really, really nice. And one day we said, shall we sew something together? And we weren't intending on actually sharing this as something, as a separate video on YouTube or anything like that, but we've decided that we're going to share this as a separate video, and this video of mine and of hers went out on the 7th of June. So if you haven't seen that, I'll put a link in, and I'll also put a link in below to Karen's video for you to go and have a look. And we've just done a little bit of a review of this pattern. She is, we've actually made the same size as each other, but we're both quite different in our shape, so it's really interesting to see what this looks like, and we've done different versions of it. But we have made the new look 6446, and the reason we've done this is a pattern that I really wanted to make previously, but it went horribly wrong for me, and she had made it and it was just absolutely gorgeous, and she said, come on, let's make it together and we'll get on and do it. And I'm like, all right then. We took our time and we really sort of helped each other with the fit. Well, she helped me more than I helped her, but helped each other with the fit and things like that. And I've made mine out of my So Hayley Jane fabric that I got a couple of months ago, and it's this gorgeous viscose fabric, and I cannot tell you how pleased I am with this. It is just such a lovely jumpsuit. I changed mine a little bit because I wanted to have full length legs, and I'll talk more about that in the review that I've done in the other video, but I've extended the legs and I had to adapt the pattern a little bit to get it to fit me. Previously I'd made it in a size too large for me because I had gone by the measurements on the pattern and it just was really wrong. So I've actually made it in a different size and still had to make a few adjustments to it. So again, like I say, I'll be talking about that all in my other video. But I am so pleased with it. It is just really lovely. I feel like I could really dress this up, but I think my intention is to wear this with little white pumps or something like that and just have it as a really nice, loose, floaty, really lovely jumpsuit for the summer. I just feel really nice wearing it. It fits beautifully, it feels really nice, the fabric is really soft and really lovely, and yeah, I can't stop smiling when I'm wearing it, because I'm like, I made this. Oh, and I put a label in this as well, which I will show you, because I have subscribed to So Hayley Jane for 12 months now, and I got a little gift for doing so, and in my gift was a set of labels, and it says, to me, love me. And I thought, do you know what, I'm going to put that in my jumpsuit because I'm so chuffed with it. It does feel like I've given myself a little prezzy. So yes, so that is the last thing that I have made this month, and my most favourite thing. I do quite like all of the things that I've made, but anyway. So I really hope that you've enjoyed seeing the things that I've sewn this month and the things that Amy has knitted. It's been really nice to share it with you. Please do make sure you subscribe and give me a like, and it would be really great if you could give me a hi and hello in the comments below as well, and let me know what you've been sewing and if you've got any summary plans for the future. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there for today. I will love you and leave you. I will see you later. You take care. Bye.